A special gift for their acts of kindness and contributions to our community. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a KNX Zero, visit cbsla.com/KNX Zeros. Celebrity Cruises offers modern upscale vacations to the most exhilarating destinations all over the world. For more details, call 1-800-CELEBRITY, contact your travel agent, or visit celebritycruises.com. Headed to work? So are the burglars. Fact is, more than 60% of all home burglaries happen during daytime. But with Bay Alarm, you're protected 24/7 with the power to control and manage your system wherever you go. Bay Alarm, local security experts backed by over 60 years of innovation and reliability. Call 1-800-610-1000 or visit bayalarm.com today for a free security review. Bay Alarm, what have you got to lose? ACO 28 CCL 880-138.
Do you have gout, pain, swelling, tenderness in your joints accompanied by high uric acid in your blood? CHA Hollywood Presbyterian Hospital is seeking volunteers for a gout research study of an investigational medication. If you're 18 to 75 years of age and diagnosed with gout, you may qualify for the study. And if you're eligible, you'll receive all study-related care at no charge. Upon completion of the study participation, you'll receive up to $4,200. If you're interested, please call 855-814-8631. Again, the number is 855-814-8631.
When searching for the best pastrami sandwich, search LangersDeli.com. KNX News Time 8:55. Traffic and weather together on the 5. Here's John.
Just got on the phone with Jesus. He was talking about a crash heading into the Hacienda Heights area, 60 east at Hacienda. Brand new one. Second lane from the left. The westbound 60 continues to be pretty tough through that area. I'm looking at from about Fullerton Road. It's very heavy all the way over to the 605. Let's go ahead and go to Scott Burt in Ayrton 70.
Looked at the Hollywood Freeway, and last time around, Jeff mentioned this is an alternative to the 405. You probably do a little better here, especially on the valley side. 170 southbound, heavy around Burbank Boulevard. From that point, heavy down through about Barham. Improves a little bit, more slowing though from Highland down toward the 4 level.
Got about 20 miles of flowing for the southbound 605. Absolutely miserable. Coming down for the 210, it is tough all the way down to the 5 freeway. Let's go to Jeff Bond, Ayrton 1070.
South 405 still on project here this morning. Slow coming down from the 118 to Nordoff. Then it improves only to Roscoe. Roscoe Boulevard into West LA is just real slow, but better than all the alternatives.
And I'm looking at the westbound side of the 91 west of the 710. We've got an accident there. It's backed up all the way to Knott. Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Our next report at 9:05 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com.
The forecast today, Evelyn Taft at CBS2 has sunny skies all throughout this day and right into the weekend. Tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday as well. We'll see temps today that will be somewhere into the 70s. For tomorrow, looks like some 80s, and Saturday and Sunday 80s as well. Right now, downtown LA has 51. It's 54 in Eagle Rock this morning, 59 Southgate, and in Ontario right now, it's 55.
Timeless Treasures Boutiques, a free event showcasing local seasonal artisans and gourmet food. It's happening today through Sunday in Huntington Beach at 6905 Warner Avenue in Golden West. Learn more at timelesstreasuresboutiques.com.
Brought to you now by City of Hope.
KNX News Time 8:57. NCIS LA star Chris O'Donnell gets his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame later this morning. LL Cool J is also on the show with us. He's going to be out there. 11:30, the usual time. This one is going to be in front of Jameson's Irish Pub on Hollywood Boulevard. Madonna. Backwards Fall of the Brit Awards gave the show an enormous bump in social engagement. New digital stats show a 95% bump in tweets from last year's show. Largely due to Madonna saying, everybody's saying, did you see that? Did you see that?
I saw it. Did you see it?
I saw it.
She turned off.
Yeah, she did. And at first it was like, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. And she, and to her credit, she finished the show.
Yep.
But later said, you know, they were watching her for a concussion. She had whiplash, because that did look bad. She went down 3 steps backwards. For breaking news text alerts from KNX 1070, text the word news, NEWS to 41070. You can follow us on Twitter at KNX 1070, KNX to Kelton, and Vicki Moore News. KNX News Time 8:58.
A cancer diagnosis raises worry and questions. Will I survive? Where should I go for cancer treatment? Thankfully, there's City of Hope. City of Hope is a treatment facility like no other. As a patient, you'll benefit from our internationally recognized team of physicians, all working together in one place to provide you with personalized, life-saving care that meets your type of cancer-specific needs. Our innovative research and groundbreaking clinical trials are used by cancer treatment facilities worldwide. More importantly, that same work ensures your best chance for survival. Which is why, for more than a decade, U.S. News and World Report has named City of Hope one of the nation's best cancer hospitals. If there's ever a time you deserve the best, it's now. If you or someone you love has cancer, make City of Hope your first call. 1-800-826-HOPE. Or visit cityofhope.org.
KNX 1070 AM and HD, KAMP HD2 Los Angeles. KNX 1070 News Radio, broadcasting live from the Southern California BMW Newsroom. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Find a dealer at SoCalBMW.com.
Top stories now at 8:59.
A Delta flight has skidded off the icy runway of LaGuardia Airport in New York. Operations at LaGuardia are shut down until tonight.
I'm John Baird at LAX. The winter weather on the East Coast is sending ripples across the U.S. Several thousand flights have been canceled already.
Cedars-Sinai tracking down dozens of patients who may have been exposed to the deadly superbug from the same type of problematic endoscope.
Ready, set, hike. Backers of a football stadium in Carson hope a ballot measure will fast-track construction. I'm Margaret Carrero.
A stolen car chase from North Hollywood to Burbank ends in gunfire. LAPD officers killing the man behind the wheel. I'm Pete Demetrio.
A Republican assemblyman from Oceanside has thrown his hat into the ring to replace outgoing Senator Barbara Boxer.
And meteorologists of our much-discussed El Nino weather pattern has finally arriving off the California coast. With Vicki Moore, I'm Dick Helton. CBS News coming up next.
All news, all the time. Southern California's only all-news radio station.
It's 9 o'clock.
CBS News. I'm Steve Kathan. A Delta Airlines plane skidded off a runway at New York's snowy LaGuardia Airport. Flight 1086 from Atlanta ended up with its nose through a fence, and 149 passengers got out a door, walked over a wing to get to the ground. No serious injuries, authorities say, but some passengers are being checked out. One unconfirmed report says a fuel tank may have ruptured. Retired NTSB investigator Al Yerman.
After so many inches, I think it's about 3 inches of snow on the runway, you've got to close the runway because you don't have any traction, you don't have any friction, and skidding is almost inevitable.
LaGuardia is now closed. Because of the bad weather from the Northeast down to the Gulf Coast, airlines have canceled more than 3,500 flights today. Heavy snow has stranded hundreds of drivers on Interstate 65 south of Louisville. Charlie has been in his car there for several hours.
A guy just gave us one bottle of water. It's me, my brother, and two little boys, one 3 years old, one 2 years old.
Greg Fisher is Louisville's mayor, a city with 16 inches of snow on the ground.
The big issue with emergency services is just lots of stranded motorists and more accidents than normal.
The Colorado judge has just set April 21st as the tentative date for opening statements in the Aurora movie theater massacre trial. The judge is now overseeing jury selection. Law enforcement sources tell CBS News that federal authorities issued an alert this week to state and local police about ISIS efforts to entice young followers. And from Britain, CBS's Larry Miller has the story of someone who tried to link up with ISIS but failed.
A high school chemistry teacher from Manchester, England, who planned to join the Islamic State was sentenced to 6 years in jail. The court heard Jamshed Javid intended to commit multiple acts of murder. When his family discovered his plans, they hid his passport and belongings. Police Inspector Terry Mole says Javid's transformation from teacher to terrorist was quick.
There's a change of appearance, grown a beard, he's become more religious. Friends and family were definitely concerned.
The judge said Javid still has a violent jihadist mindset. Larry Miller, CBS News, London.
Big change for the Ringling Brothers Circus.
Everything with an elephant on it now just became a collector's item.
Because, as spokesman Stephen Payne of the circus's parent company says, they're phasing out elephant acts over the next 3 years.
This was just a decision that was made for the elephants so that we could redouble our efforts to live up to our motto, which is extinction, not if we can help it.
The 6 patients are getting kidney transplants from 6 donors at San Francisco Hospital in surgeries today and tomorrow, all thanks to Zully Broussard, a Sacramento woman who started a chain of donations when she wasn't a match for a relative.
I lost a son to cancer. It will be 13 years ago, and I recently lost my husband about 14 months ago, so I know what it feels like to want an extra day.
Wall Street, the Dow is up 47 points. This is CBS News.
More national
Forecasting weather back east, also causing more air travel problems here.
And a second candidate jumps into the race for Barbara Boxer's seat.
Good morning. This is KNX 1070 News Radio. I'm Chris Seaton.
And I'm Linda Nunez. It's Thursday, March 5th.
Here's what's happening at 9:03.
The brutal winter storm back east has just hammered the flight schedule across the country, causing a wave of cancellations and delays, even here in L.A.
FlightAware says more than 10% of the roughly 23,000 daily winter flights had been scratched off the boards this morning. That's close to 3,000 canceled flights in the U.S. In Terminal 4 at LAX, the TV monitors at American Airlines showed some incoming and outgoing flights were canceled. An Australian couple expects to be camped out at the airport all day today.
You're going to be here for a while?
Yes.
Like hours?
Yes.
They're flying American Airlines. Its Dallas hub has been greatly affected. Also, Newark, Washington Dulles, and Washington National, along with Philadelphia airports, are all getting squeezed because of the weather and canceled flights. John Baird, KNX 1070 News Radio.
And we'll have more on this coming up a little later this half hour. We'll speak live with KNX 1070's aviation expert, Charles Feldman. KNX News Time 9:04. Cedars-Sinai has become the second Los Angeles hospital dealing with the superbug spread by contaminated medical scopes. 4 patients have been infected, and it's notifying 71 others who might also have the bacteria, the same one that also infected patients at the UCLA Medical Center. South Bay Congressman Ted Lieu tells KNX this is a serious threat that requires urgent action.
In fact, superbugs are so dangerous that last year the White House issued an executive order declaring that fighting antibiotic-resistant bacteria is a national security priority, and these outbreaks are now happening across the country.
Now, the medical scopes involved in the LA outbreaks were never even approved by the FDA.
KNX News Time 9:05.
So the freeways now, traffic and weather together on the vibes. Good morning, Tom Tran.
Good morning. Lots of problems on the 405 for the drive-in today. So let's start on the southbound side. 405 south, right up near Nordhoff Street, had a crash being reported there. We had several others leaving the Van Nuys area, including one down near Mulholland. That's keeping traffic busy basically from Nordhoff all the way down towards the west side of LA. The news on the Canyon roads, not great. Sepulveda Boulevard, absolutely avoided if possible. They've got a crash being reported as you head into the tunnel. That's got Sepulveda backed up. Beverly Glen and Benedict Canyon are actually looking pretty good if you can get south of Mulholland. Coldwater and Laurel Canyon are terrible as per usual. The Golden State Freeway, we had a problem on the 5 going southbound at Hollywood Way. It looks like a semi-truck hauling a fueler tank got disconnected from the tank right around Hollywood Way, blocking the number 3 lane. That's got traffic stopped up from about Vineland, and then it slows down again into Burbank. Right around Alameda Avenue, it's going to be jammed up all the way down towards the East LA interchange. The northbound side of the 5, not too bad, a little bit slow coming away from the 10, but we do have an accident on the 5 going southbound right around Los Feliz Boulevard, adding to those delays. Northbound side of the 405 at Santa Monica Boulevard, single vehicle crash here blocking the number 1 lane. Traffic already slows out of Long Beach, busy from just before the 110, stay slow all the way up towards Santa Monica Boulevard. Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Our next report at 9:15 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com.
I'm CBS 2 meteorologist Evelyn Taft, and this is your exclusive 5-day forecast. Temperatures for the next few days, 70s turning to 80s even for the basin, our inland valleys, and the coast in the mid to upper 70s at least through your Saturday, even your Sunday. Slightly cooler by Monday, a little cloudier by Tuesday, and a chance of rain heading our way by Wednesday. That's your 5-day forecast, where the weekend's always in sight. Here at KNX 1070 News Radio.
Currently Fullerton 57 degrees. We've got 63 this hour in Studio City, 68 in Southgate, 62 degrees here at the CBS Broadcast Center on LA's Miracle Mile.
KNX News Time 9:07. Carson is going the way of Inglewood with a ballot initiative in the works to get an NFL stadium built.
Fred McFarland with Carson together, the group backing the stadium that could eventually house the Chargers and Raiders, tells KNX they're not trying to compete with Inglewood.
Our task right now, though, is to circulate petitions and really capitalize on the enthusiasm in the Carson community for this project.
He says they need just over 8,000 signatures to pave the way for construction of a 70,000-seat stadium at Del Amo in the 405. A similar effort was taken in Inglewood last month for an 80,000-seat stadium backed by the owner of the Rams. Carson resident Patrick says he's willing to pay extra taxes if necessary.
I think it would help Carson
gain some more income for the city.
In Carson, Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
There is now a second official candidate for the U.S. Senate seat being given up next year by Barbara Boxer. Motion signed Republican State Assemblyman Joaquin Chavez said this morning that he's entering the race. Until now, the only announced major candidate was State Attorney General Kamala Harris. She's a Democrat. Unlike many other Republicans, Chavez supports broad immigration reforms and opposes repealing Obamacare, but he says his campaign will also focus on jobs and foreign affairs.
A San Diego City Council committee today will take up the thorny issue of how to set the salaries of San Diego's elected officials. Currently, City Council considers a recommendation made by a commission every 2 years, and that's come under fire. Critics say office holders in politically sensitive jobs don't want voters to see them raising their own salaries, especially when municipal finances are tight.
Our highly anticipated El Nino is finally here, but meteorologists say it is too little, too late. They claim this weather system is weak and weird and won't do much to alleviate the state's drought conditions. This is the first El Nino since the spring of 2010. These conditions are usually so important that economists track them because of how they affect commodities.
Downtown LA will have a lot more hotel space for visitors if AEG has its way. The sports and entertainment giant has laid out plans for a $500 million expansion to its Marriott Hotel at the LA Live Complex that involves adding another 755 rooms. They'd be in a new high-rise linked to the current hotel by a bridge over Olympic Boulevard. If the city approves, work could start as soon as late this year with completion in 2018. KNX News Time, 9:09.
If you're traveling between Westwood and the Valley, you can save up to 20 minutes each way with Metro's new Valley Westside Express. You'll fly through the Sepulveda Pass on the 405's new carpool lanes. Plan your trip now using the trip planner at metro.net.
Dr. Charles Menger at Saddleback Eye Center introduces the all-new 3D WOW LASIK exam, the most advanced technology in the field of LASIK surgery. Dr. Menger will measure your eyes at 3D for the best crystal clear vision. And I'll give you a 3D LASIK exam to you and the first 14 callers only. So stand by, phone number is coming, so get your phone ready to dial. This procedure are for people who are nearsighted, farsighted.
People?
After doctor, after...
Oh my God.
A cabin filled with smoke, and we got to use the slides and jump off the wings. Plus, we got a free airline ticket. That rules. Does it? Yes, I did. People think I'm being facetious. Like I would love to use the slide.
Yeah,
I have a handful of goals in life. I want to use the slide on an airplane. I would like to see a sheared off fire hydrant with the water shooting straight up in the air. Not a picture and not a video. Yeah. I would actually like to witness where I hear like the tires screech and all of a sudden smash and all of a sudden all of a sudden shoots up in the air. I would also like to watch a gas station explode.
I love your fantasy.
Like one that's closed where there's nobody there, but all of a sudden I don't know, something happens and all of a sudden it's like, it's gonna blow. And I'm across the street, actually. Right. Boom! And it just goes up and you're like,
and you scream a world star in your videos.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'd be so excited I probably wouldn't even know to videotape it.
One of our friends did the fire thing at Google headquarters. They had to pay so much money to get it fixed because it's ridiculous.
Did you guys ride the school bus?
Yeah.
Back in the day? Mm-hmm. I always sat towards the back of the bus, not because that's where the cool kids were or whatever, but because when it was time for the drills, for the how to get off the bus, right? I didn't want to be because they would divide it right down the middle, right? Mm-hmm. The front half gets off the steps.
Front.
The kids who were like from the back half of the bus, you would all line up and you get to jump out of the back of the school bus and you get to open that door. That's where I wanted to be.
Where the back action is.
Where the cool stuff happens.
No, dude. I get on and off the bus with the steps every day. I wanted the back of the bus.
See, your dreams are so outlandish that they're like movies, things that are in movies.
Yeah.
My
so what?
fantasy
I like a
is so effing attainable. Why haven't I done it yet? I want to drive without doors.
Yeah.
How hard is that? And yet I haven't done it yet.
It's easy. You know what you do? You buy a Jeep.
Get a Jeep.
Yeah.
That is my fantasy, is to drive without doors.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Dreams shattered. A couple of guys
shattered
in Australia, they were hanging around outside a post office because, everybody wants to hang out outside the post office. They were trying to share a bag of Doritos, but one guy was hogging them. Very uncool. So the other guy grabbed a stick, demanded his fair share of Doritos. His friend responded by walking over to a witch's hat nearby, grabbed an axe underneath it that was hidden there. Yes, and that's what really happened. We cannot explain why there was a witch's hat there, why an axe was underneath it outside of a post office. That's what they do in Australia, maybe?
Yeah, all right. Sounds like a good time.
Fortunately, a couple of cops saw the stick versus axe fight brewing, and they broke it up. And the guy with the axe was arrested for threatening behavior and being armed in public.
Oh, wow.
No. Weird stuff happening in Australia.
Yeah, prick be tripping.
Prick be tripping.
That's 2 prick be tripping stories right in a row today for your discount news.
Oh, I've got another one for you real quick.
All right.
Somebody that we would actually probably have a fun time working with, this guy. Total party. His name is Vince Dementri.
All right.
TV news reporter, Springfield, Illinois. At least he was. He was fired for getting into a brawl with a fellow newsman. Sounds like the movie Anchorman, right?
Yeah.
This kind of thing, nothing new for this guy. It was back in 2001 that Vince was working at a high-profile New York TV station when he was busted for impersonating a federal agent at Ground Zero right after the September 11th attacks. Those charges were later dropped, but more drama came for Vince. In 2010, he was accused of slapping a UN ambassador's chauffeur all over a parking spot. That's when he lost his gig in New York and he went to Philadelphia for a new job. And when he got to Philadelphia, he had an affair with his co-anchor and ended up losing that job. So he gets hired in Springfield after looking for new work, right?
Oh, another fight.
Yeah, he just had a brawl with a guy named Garrett Bernger, who's another newsman. They were at a Hooters.
Classy.
They apparently got into this huge fight, which ended when somebody called the cops. Both guys took off before the cops got there, but one of them was found, and they're not saying if it was Vince or if it was this other newsman, Garrett. Found him walking down the street covered in blood. Said he had fallen off of a bar stool, but the truth was he had brawled. Both guys fired from WCIS-TV. So Vince, yet again, is looking for work, and the station he just got fired from in Springfield, by the way, they knew about his scandalous past, but Vince had convinced them that he was the victim in everything.
Well,
All right.
you know, maybe some anger management.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And then...
Maybe some AA.
Right.
I got 3 words. Anger management. Yeah.
He'll be back at it.
He'll probably get a gig down here, right?
Raymond's got your sports coming up next here on The Woody Show.
iHeartRadio presents Foo Fighters.
Always different with this song. I think it was
$5.90 cash.
Cash calling.
On The Woody. Microwaved.
Notice, Department of Business Oversight, California Finance Lenders Law License number 603-8780, NMLS number 38512.
That's 866-590 cash. 866-590 cash.
It's what we're all about.
We love having access to the news all day long.
And traffic on the 5.
KNX provides exactly what I need.
Don't be left out.
With KNX, I feel connected to what's going on.
KNX 1070 News Radio.
KNX News Time, 9:15.
For the freeways again, traffic and weather together on the 5s. Here's Tom Tran.
Not a lot of good news for you. Let's start with a problem over on the 405 southbound just before MacArthur. Sister Teresa called in, said there was a 2-car crash that was blocking the right shoulder. They were limping off the freeway, but that's already got traffic backed up to about, it looks like it starts almost back at the 22 at this point, and it's jammed up pretty solidly. The 5 also looks really awful, and we're going to start up in the Burbank area. Coming out of Sun Valley, there was an earlier big rig that disconnected from the trailer over near Hollywood Way. That's blocking the right lane still. The delays on the 5 start way back at the 118, and it's going to get better once you get past Hollywood Way, but the jam's up again at the 134 because of 3 separate accidents we have reported. One near Colorado Street, one just after Colorado Street, and one just after Los Feliz Boulevard. So that 5 is a terrible mess, leaving Burbank, staying busy all the way down towards East LA. The good news is once you get down towards the East LA interchange, it's clear all the way down towards Anaheim. 710 going northbound, new accident being reported just after Florence Avenue. That's got traffic stalled up from the 105 all the way up towards the 5. Unfortunately, that's usually the alternate route I suggest for the Santa Ana Freeway, which is busy from Norwalk and stays slow up towards the 60. Good news, earlier crash on the 110 I told you about near Florence Avenue, that is gone. You are still seeing delays from the 105 up towards the 4 level. Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Our next report at 9:25 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com.
Our CBS 2 weather forecast for Southern California. Sunny, a little warmer today. We're looking at highs upper 70s, lower 80s for some areas. Mostly clear skies tonight, lows in the upper 40s, mid 50s. And then tomorrow, sunny, highs at mid 70s and mid 80s. Right now it is 57 degrees. Fullerton, we're up to 59 in Culver City, 60 in Huntington Beach, 63 in Studio City. Currently, we've got 62 here at the CBS Broadcast Center on LA's Miracle Mile. All
hours live and local. This is Southern California's only all-news radio station, KNX 1070 News Radio. I'm Chris Seams.
And I'm Linda Nunez. Coming up, the latest on the airliner that skidded off the runway at LaGuardia.
KNX News Time 9:17.
A rare medical procedure involving 12 patients, 6 kidney transplants, and 2 days of surgery is said to take place at a San Francisco hospital. The kidney paired donations were made possible by a woman who started a chain of donations and a computer program that matches donors to recipients. People in the chain are not